Right, so I think we're now officially on time and we're officially starting. So before Luke and I connect, I just want, for those of you who don't know, Given to Live, what we do as an organisation, we give the opportunity to see live music to people who either are facing struggles or have been facing struggles through their lives. And it can be anything from physical learning difficulties through to depression, mental health issues, domestic violence, carers, and it's all very much about making their show very much their show. They're the VIP. Now, Luke has sent... Oh, hello, it's gone. I was just about... Where's the bit? There's Luke. There he is. So, any second now. There he is.
Hello, I am. You all right?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good, cheers.
Excellent. You've moved since we spoke yesterday.
Have I?
You have, because that poster is over your left shoulder. I'm sure it was over your right shoulder yesterday.
Oh, okay. Maybe just the camera angle's a bit different.
Yeah.
Sort that out.
And I know that there'll be... And before anyone asks who's watching, no, there are no more spare black justices.
No, they've all gone.
And you're not even going to give that one off of the wall that you got for yourself. That's staying there before anyone asks.
Yeah, I thought I'd keep that one as a little memento.
Do you keep many of yours? Actually?
No, I try to keep one of each.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I tend to do it. Yeah. Sometimes if someone really, really wants a poster, I might let them have it. I might sell it.
Don't say that. That justice one's right behind you.
Yeah, it's like dangling the carrot right there.
So yeah, we had a lovely chat yesterday, prior to this, getting to know each other, and really appreciate that bit itself. And very simply, first of all, I want to thank you for doing this.
Of course.
And being with us, and also for supporting Given to Live by having sent us some donations before in the past.
Yeah.
And now I just think the easiest thing is, how did, this is, Given to Live, live music. How did it all happen? The live, the posters. Yeah.
Okay. Shall I just go
leave it
right
to
back
you.
to the start? Okay. Well, I mean, I've always been very passionate about music, especially heavy music. Growing up, I was a keen guitar player and things like that. And also, I used to do a lot of drawing and things. And so, yeah, I went to art college when I did my A-levels. I did an A-level in music technology and art history. And then when I did that, after I'd sort of done that, I kind of went to art college in Birmingham, at Bourneville Art College, and this is going to sound really bad, but I dropped out of college.
You're not the first and you're not the last, so I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, so, and then I basically, because obviously I was into art and I was into music, art sort of seemed the obvious sort of career choice, or the easiest thing to get into. So I got like a junior position as a graphic designer, at like a small design studio. This would have been about 1998, something like that. So illustration at that time wasn't even on the cards as a job. This was just like, how do I do something creative? Graphic design sounds cool. So I was kind of, just went as a junior and learned how to use, early versions of Photoshop and doing a lot of page layout and things like that for brochures, and also it was all very corporate and quite sort of boring stuff really, but it was more about just sort of, I was getting paid a bit of money and learning on the job. So that was sort of how I kind of got into that. And then I moved around a few different graphic design studios over the years, all while sort of as a side hustle on, I was playing in bands as well, playing in
Hmm.
lots of metal bands and things, and doing sort of a lot of gigs around the West Midlands, which is where I'm from. So a lot in Birmingham and things like that. We do the odd gig down in London and things. And, you know, we do like support slots with bigger bands. They're like, you know, like the Underworld and places like that in Camden.
Brilliant. Yeah.
You know, that was fun. And art was sort of the, like, well, graphic design was the job, but the real passion was I want to be in a band and I want to be successful in a band. But I soon sort of learned that that was a lot harder than I thought it would be. And then what did I do after that? I'm just trying to think. And then this would have been sort of early 2000s, I'd say, by now. And then I kind of, what did I do? I'm just trying to think. There's so many things to kind of think about. I'm just trying to think the next thing that I did. What did I do next?
Well,
So
what?
yeah, that's it. Then I got made redundant. That's what happened from a company that I worked at, and then I was sort of out of a job for a while, and then I landed a job as a graphic designer at 2000 AD Comics in Oxford, and that was just. I mean, I don't know if you know 2000 AD Comics. So it's like home to Judge Dredd and Slain and ABC Warriors and all that kind of good stuff. And that was still just a graphic design job. So it wasn't illustration, because you think, oh, comics, yeah, I'm going to get to draw some comics and stuff. And that wasn't what it was about. They just needed a graphic designer to help put the graphic novels together and help put the comic together and things like that. And so I did that for about 8 years. I worked there, and that was in Oxford. All still while I was playing in bands. And then...
Do you still, I know I'm interrupting here, but do you still play in bands?
No, I still sort of tinker on the guitar and stuff. But illustration is sort of took over now, and that's kind of the main focus, really.
Yeah.
And just, I would imagine being in a band, well, especially in the current situation, is a bit of a nightmare right now.
Yeah.
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 But you know, yeah. So what was we talking about? Yeah. So 2000 AD, worked there for a while. That was great. You know, I got to meet lots of, you know, cool writers and comic artists through that, and that was, you know, very inspirational, I guess.
And in a roundabout way, you kind of met Judge Dredd in person.
Yeah. Well, I worked with 2000 AD's fictional editor Tharg for 8 years, so that was fun. And then through that, I kind of, because 2000 AD is owned by Rebellion Games in Oxford, and then after like several years of doing that, there was an opportunity that came up in the games industry there, and I started working as a UI artist on video games. So, and you know, none of this stuff was planned. It was all just kind of opportunities sort of appeared, I guess. And I just sort of thought, yeah, I'll give that a go, you know, see what that's like. And then also sort of whilst doing that, I started sort of getting back into art again and just doing a bit of illustration here and there, and just started creating my own sort of little bits of fan art and things like that. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was just sort of just seeing what would happen. And yeah, that's kind of how it sort of went. And then by now we're up to about, I don't know, mid 2000s, I guess, about 2005, 2006, something like that. By this point, I kind of gave up on bands altogether. Just sort of decided, you know, I need to live. I need to afford to live, and the band stuff wasn't really paying, and it's sort of sad, really. But at the end of the day, I've got to eat, and you know, so I just sort of kind of started getting more and more into my art, really, from there. and then started just sort of doing, like I said, personal projects on the side. And then
Faith No More.
yeah, did little personal projects on some of my favourite bands, you know, one of them being Faith No More. And then I got someone approached me about doing a gig poster. A guy from America just got in touch randomly, asked if I wanted to do something for Danzig, and I was just like, yeah, okay. I didn't really get paid a lot of money or anything like that, but it was, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I just sort of said, yeah, okay. Did that, and then after that, I started getting a few more. Did some Guar stuff. What else do we do? Alice Cooper, Deep Purple. And then I did a few movie posters as well, with some of the galleries in LA. Mostly with Hero Complex Gallery. And they flew me out to New York, which was great, and got to go to New York Comic Con, and that was really good. Got to hang out with loads of lovely people, got to meet lots of other artists from all over, and that was great. Yeah, it's cool. And then it's such a whirlwind. It's kind of so much stuff has happened like the last few years. It's sort of hard to remember in what order things happened. It just all sort of started happening. And then, to cut a long story short, I guess it all kind of culminated in me getting to work with, you know, my favourite band, which is Metallica. Did the 30th anniversary of And Justice for All, which was my first job for them, which was just a screen print, limited run of screen prints. And that was, yeah, it was great. The merchandise company is based in the UK, and landed that job. That went down well. The posters sort of just sold out straight away, and that was a real sort of taste of like, oh, okay, this is real, I guess. And then after that, I just kind of kept getting to do more and more Metallica stuff. Did a T-shirt and for the European tour. Did the Manchester poster. Did the Munich, Germany poster. Me and my wife got to go to the Manchester show last year at the Etihad Stadium. And that was bizarre, sort of turning up. I remember when I got there, I wanted to go and check out my poster and actually see it on the stand, you know?
Yeah.
And by the time I got there, it just completely sold out. So that was like great that it sold out, but
wanting to see it.
You just wanted to see it, yeah, just like to be like, okay, it's real, it's on the official stand, you know, with all the other merch. But, you know, the T-shirt that I designed for the tour, that was on the stand. And then we're kind of wandering around just like before the gig had started, and you could sort of see, obviously, the crowds kind of going to the stadium and stuff. And there's just loads of people wearing my T-shirt. That was weird.
Yeah, we spoke about that yesterday, and it sounded almost overwhelming.
Yeah, it was just
in a
bizarre.
wonderful way. Yeah.
So that was really, really cool. It's quite funny, actually, when we got there, because we were put on the guest list, but then when we got there, we went up to the booth to get the tickets, and it's like, yeah, your name's not down. We're like,
oh, really?
I've driven all the way to Manchester, and my name's not on the list. And then it was basically an admin error. Yeah. Someone at the merch company hadn't sent the list of guests through, and then we waited around for half an hour, and it all got sorted. But it was like that kind of, you felt like a bit of a twat, kind of, you know, sort of stood there like, yeah. You know, like Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World, flashing the backstage passes, and they've actually not been able to get in. So it was, so yeah, that was cool. And it was like, I remember standing there, and there was another guy who was waiting to get in as well, and he was waiting to get his passes, and we sort of started talking, and he turned out that like, he's like, hey, yeah, my name's, I can't remember his name now, I think it was Neil or something like that, and he was like, hey, yeah, I'm Neil, I make Metallica's patches. Make, you know, all the back patches and all that kind of stuff. That was cool. So I met the patch guy, and yeah, got to go to the gig. It was great. And then what else? And then after that, things have it's just gone pretty crazy. It's cool. I got to work with Microsoft on the Gears of War franchise, which has been amazing. And that just, all that stuff that I did just turned up everywhere. I don't know. Is this interesting? I don't know whether this is interesting. I just sound like I'm like, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that. But yeah, it's great. I mean, that's kind of where I'm up to. I still work part-time in video games. And then I dedicate some time now to doing gig posters and the odd movie poster. And we've done, what else have we done? Getting to do some Blu-ray covers now for films and things, which is quite fun. I kind of find like doing movie stuff quite hard, if I'm honest. I like being able to just make stuff up. And that's why I really enjoy doing gig posters. And I find sometimes with doing, I mean, a lot of artist friends that I know find it really easy doing movie posters, but I find it's a bit more of a challenge, I find, and I don't know why that is. I just find it a bit more of a challenge.
I imagine with a movie poster, you're kind of given quite a specific, it has not has to be exactly like this, but it's a very clear picture of, use the pun, picture of what they want. Whereas with something like, you know, a gig poster, you've got a lot more to play with, unless they're saying, okay, well, it's in City X, can you maybe throw something relevant to that city? Whereas I imagine the movie poster is much more black and white, as it were.
Yeah, sure. I don't know, I think it's like when you're dealing with likenesses and I don't know, I just think, I kind of feel sometimes when I'm doing movie posters, I'm trying to force myself to do something a certain way. And it just, I don't know, somehow doesn't sit right with me. It's not that I don't enjoy doing them. I do enjoy it, but I find it a bit more challenging somehow. I don't know why, but I just do. Whereas I find like, you know, I love movies. You know, I kind of, you know, I love watching films. I love music. I love video games. I love all those things, but for some reason, I just find movie posters the harder subject matter. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you what it is. But yeah.
But Metallica, you know, I mean, I love hearing, you know, when we've done these, that the person who I'm talking to in this case, it's you, has actually worked with their favorite band, you know.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, a question came up, was like, you know, were Metallica cool to work with, you know.
Yeah, very cool. That was, I mean, again, what I was saying about the movie posters, it's I think when you're really, really into something, it's just a lot easier to, well, I find it a lot easier to, not that I'm not into films, but, you know, if you have like a favorite band or something, or whatever that might be, it somehow just naturally sort of comes out. And with regards to working with them, I don't know whether maybe they can see that in the work, that I just sort of get the band. I don't know. Like it just sort of, because the way it works is I kind of send my rough over to, I normally just do one rough. I don't really give them many options. So if I give them too many options, that's when things can kind of go a bit, it can kind of dilute things maybe. So what I tend to do is I'll just do like one initial rough, which is normally the first thing that I could think of. And then I'll send that over to the merch company. They then pass that over to management. I guess they present it to the band. The band must see it. And then, I mean, so far it's just like, it just gets approved and then I just do the final art. It hasn't been, you know, it's what's the word? It's pretty laid back, I guess. Bands seem pretty laid back with this sort of stuff. Unless you kind of draw something massively offensive, it seems to be, you know, fine.
And what someone asked, what would be your dream? I mean, in a way, you've had your dream job working with Metallica, but what would be your dream band now?
That's an interesting question. do you know what? I wouldn't mind doing something that isn't a metal band, and doing maybe something like someone like Run the Jewels, or maybe the Prodigy, because they're a great live band, and you know, I've loved that band for years. You know, obviously I'm into metal music, but you know, I love lots of other genres of music as well, hip hop, dance music. So yeah, I think Prodigy would be a cool one.
Someone's saying Pearl Jam.
Yeah, Pearl Jam would be great. You know,
Which I wouldn't mind, but I have this personal thing of I only get a poster from a show I was at. So like, yeah, and I love your work, and it'd be like I'd be kind of frustrated if you did a Pearl Jam show, and I wasn't at it, because I won't. I just have this thing for me. It's like, you know, there's only like so much wall space, and I'm not a collector who'll put sort of 200 posters under the bed. Like I know people who do that. You know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Pearl Jam would be great.
Yeah, and that kind of brings me onto a conversation we had yesterday. If my memory serves, you were having lunch with Dan Mumford just before the lockdown.
Doing something weird on my phone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, back. I was just saying the Pearl Jam thing. If I remember rightly, you were having lunch with Dan Mumford just before the lockdown happened, and you're on your way to a gig yourself.
Yeah, I went down to London. I went down to London for the day, and me and a friend were going to see the band Employed to Serve at the Camden Underworld. And whilst I was down there, I met up with Dan, and yeah, it was weird actually. It was like lockdown was almost sort of starting to happen. Almost well, we weren't locked down, but it had been announced that the COVID was in the country, and we were I remember talking about how, things are gonna go a bit crazy in the next few weeks, you know. I've known Dan for a few years now. You know, we just sort of know each other through art and stuff like that, really. And I discovered his work through the band Gallows, way back in the early 2000s when that album came out. And Dan's been, he's just, been a good friend, and he's kind of offered advice over the years to me, sort of pointing me in the right direction of where I should go and how I should get my work seen and things like that. And we've sort of just kind of kept in touch, and every so often we meet up, and we actually did a collaboration together. And we went to New York Comic Con together and had some screen prints there, which was really cool. And yeah, I think there's still a few of those left. You can get them online from Hero Complex Gallery, I think, still. And that was a fun one. It was a bit of a challenge, but yeah, it was cool to, do a piece of artwork with a buddy and someone who, I kind of appreciate the art that he does as well. Dan's a bit of a legend in the screen print world. So that was really nice to do that with him. So yeah,
that's cool. And talking of gigs, which we are, how, and this is I'm asking everyone who how have you lost much this year? Has this really affected you on the gig side of things?
Yeah, I mean, not just gig stuff. I've been doing some, like I said, I've done some stuff on the Gears of War franchise, the video game, and they had some events coming up, which have obviously been cancelled. And I was doing some posters and like some screen prints for those things. There was one event in London that job just basically got canned. So that's kind of fallen through. And gig posters, obviously, that's not going to be happening anytime soon. But saying that, I have had a couple of jobs come in that are related to bands. So it's not like the work is drying up as such, because there's obviously still a demand for merchandise, T-shirts and things like that. So I've still got some bits and bobs going on here and there, but it's not as busy as it would be normally. No, definitely.
Yeah,
not.
And someone's asked. I mean, have you got? I mean, gig posters. Obviously, when things come back, have you got stuff lined up? And I imagine it's because they have a curiosity because they enjoy your work and thinking, oh, who's he working? Who can he? And I also appreciate when I ask questions like that there are certain things you can and can't say. So yeah.
I have got some. Yeah, there is some stuff lined up, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily. It's band related, but it's not gig poster related.
Yeah.
If
So
that,
you haven't. Yeah.
yeah.
You haven't got sort of. You were going to do X this year, and it's on hold till next year for band such and such.
No, it's yeah, unfortunately not. It's just it's a bit of a weird time, I guess. You know, I'm pretty optimistic. You know, I think things will get back to some sort of normal, and but it's realistically, it's not going to be till next year, is it? I can't see gigs happening anytime soon. With the way things are,
and
which is a
weird
shame.
and wonderful things are sort of happening as sort of people sort of. I saw something online in Germany, I think it was. There was sort of full on stage production of some sort of EDM. I don't techno, whatever it was. I'm not 100% sure, but everyone was in their car, and it was like they were at a gig, and it was it wasn't a tiny stage. It was a full stage production, but everyone was in their car.
No way.
Yeah, it was kind of weird and wonderful to kind of watch.
It's like it. I mean, this whole situation at the moment is like an episode of Black Mirror. It's just bizarre. It's just, I kind of got used to it now. I remember at first feeling quite stressed out about the whole thing, just worried about what was going to happen. But I don't know. It's just crazy. When you hear stories like that, I think I saw something online the other day where there was like they'd put on a rave somewhere in a venue. It was like a socially distanced rave where like people were dancing sat in chairs 2 meters apart. It was bizarre. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, that would have been very strange. And it just makes no sense.
Yeah, it's like, it's just crazy. But I mean, like this weekend, it's like obviously it would have been down. I think it would have been download this weekend, and but it has to be download because it's raining outside. So it rains every year. But like I think they're doing like a live TV thing, which is really cool. So I'm going to try and catch up on some of that later on and watch some of the bands.
Yeah, last year we took someone to download, a young fellow, well, young compared to me, in his 20s with some very severe depression, and he wanted to see Slipknot, and we actually the week before we'd taken someone to see Eddie Vedder in Amsterdam, and we did a fundraising cycle ride from Bristol to Amsterdam.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. Oh wait, hasn't quite finished yet, and then from Amsterdam back up to Download Festival.
Right.
Oh yeah. That was kind of fun, but that we're English. We see rain, but my God, for that, however long it was, like it just didn't stop raining for the whole ride. I know it did stop raining at times.
Yeah.
It was torrential, and the day we got to Holland itself, I mean, I've rarely been in rain like it in my life.
Yeah, I remember we went to a festival a few years back now with some friends called the Why Not Festival, if you know that one. It's in Derbyshire, and we went to that, and I've never seen rain like it. It was just horrendous. It was that bad they cancelled the Sunday.
Really?
They closed the main stage and just sent everybody home. It was pretty bad. I didn't sleep for 2 days because we were just getting wet the whole time, like in the tent and stuff. It was just like, next time I go to a festival, I'm just going to get a hotel. You can tell I'm getting old. It's like, I'm just going to get a hotel and be it or something. I don't know.
And then, of course, the moment you do that, it's going to be glorious sunshine.
Yeah, it's going to be glorious sunshine. Yeah,
all the way through. Yeah.
Well, like
someone Smoke 8 @42_art is us says would love to see your ideas for a download poster.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm.
I'd be totally up for that if that's something they wanted. Is it Andy Copling?
Copping,
Is it Copling?
I think it's Andy I think it's Copping. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the guy that organises the festival. Mm. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to do that. The first time I went to Donington was 1995. I was 15 years old, and Metallica were headlining. It was when they were like recording the Load albums, and they headlined Donington in between recording those albums. It was a good. Yeah, it was when it was called Monsters of Rock. Then. It wasn't called that.
No, I'm smiling, listening, hearing you say it because I
think it was the last Monsters of Rock. I think it was the last Monsters of Rock. Yeah. Maybe.
Because I think about the last Monsters of Rock I went to was around 92-ish, and it was, like you said, awful lot of rain, but God, I remember the year Guns N' Roses were there.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, it was really special then, It was, if you were, to me as a metal rock fan at the time, it was like, oh my God, there's 7 bands on the bill this year instead of the usual 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This awesome. Was like, who did we see? We saw. This is how long ago it was. Machine Head opened the main stage on the Burn My Eyes tour.
Right.
That's era Machine Head. It was them. Corrosion of Conformity, Skid Row.
Oh yeah, remember them well.
Who else played? I think Therapy played. Remember the band Therapy? Great band. They played. It wasn't Rob Zombie. It was White Zombie. When White Zombie was still going.
Yeah.
On the Astro Creep 2000 tour. Yeah, it was great. I was 15. I had like really, really long hair and covered in mud. It was great. And obviously Metallica headlined, and that was it was ace. Slayer played, of course. They played. Well, they used to play Donington every year, pretty much. It felt like you couldn't go to a gig at Donington and Slayer wouldn't be there.
Which you didn't mind in the slightest.
Oh no, they were the first band I ever saw live.
Really?
Wolverhampton Civic Hall. I think it was 1993. I want to say, or 94. And Machine Head supported them on that was Burn My Eyes era, and it was Slayer Divine Intervention era. You can tell I'm a metal nerd. I love the metal.
My first band, I was about 15, so that's however long ago it was MSG, the Michael Schenker group.
Okay, yeah.
But the real reason was because me and my mate were going to see our very first gig was the next night at Hammersmith Odeon, because I'm from London and lived up the road, and it was Judas Priest were the headliners.
Oh, Judas Priest. Love Judas Priest.
And the night before Michael Schenker were playing, we thought, oh, well, let's do them both, So, I mean, I know that was officially my first gig, but the first one I really wanted to see was Priest. But we got tickets, Hammersmith Odeon, the very, very back row upstairs is standing, and Rob Halford and his Harley was about this big, I'm like, it's kind of like I was watching a Matchbox car, or Matchbox size Harley Davidson go across the stage. Even in the Hammersmith, it felt tiny, but yeah.
It's amazing. What year was that, sorry?
Well, that would 67, 77, 82, something like that.
82. So it would have been. I reckon it would have been. I might be completely wrong. Screaming for Vengeance era, maybe. I don't know. Just thinking like, what album would they have been touring at that time? But I love Judas Priest. I used to, when I was learning guitar when I was a kid, I used to just religiously try and play all the riffs from the Painkiller album on my guitar. Yeah.
I'm just trying not to start, doing the chorus, singing the chorus to that now. Right, it's right in my head. So I'm just going to ask, completely distract myself by looking at the question. Someone's asking, will we see more Luke Priest in Slipknot? They're obviously thinking about the metal Metal Hammer, and
yeah,
you
we
know,
did.
you
Yeah, that
kind
was
of.
cool.
Mm,
Yeah, we did. Sorry, what were you going to say? Were you going to say something else?
I was just going to say you kindly donated one of those signed to us, which was fantastic and really
Yeah, yeah,
appreciated.
yeah. I sent you the mirror board one. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because I did a because when they so it's the guys at Metal Hammer. They do these like they don't do them every issue, but they do these little art like mini art prints that come with the issue. And we did Ghost, Ozzy, Slipknot, and I've just done Lamb of God recently as well. And it's kind of become a thing now. They kind of come to me every few months and ask me to do one, which is great, you know. And the Slipknot one was awesome. Love Slipknot. Slipknot, one of those bands that like I saw them live at Milton Keynes Bowl at the Ozfest. It was when they were touring the Iowa album, which I think is the best Slipknot album. And I remember buying that album, and I got the on CD and the fancy digipack thing, and it came with like a metallic like mirror board foil, and that's what inspired that finish on the print. So the idea for that was it was meant to be the Iowa variant. So it was had the same color palette and the same like that mirrored board that we had it printed on. Because the regular version was on a red background. And we did that in the leading up to the launch of the last album, We Are Not Your Kind. And that was like, you know, with that I didn't really work directly with the band. I just worked with Metal Hammer, and they just pass it on to the management company or whatever. And that, again, that was, you know, pretty easy to work on. It just sort of, I just said, this is what I want to do, and they were like, yep, cool, do it. So, and I kind of wanted to make it about the fans. That's why we kind of had they had that song, was it Pulse of the Maggot, which is, they call the fans the maggots, don't they? So I had the kind of goat's head with the heart and all the maggots kind of coming out of it. And that's sort of, I thought that was quite a cool little idea. But yeah, that was a really fun one. Was the question, am I going to work on more Slipknot? Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Essentially, yes.
I'd love to, yeah. But if they come asking, I'll definitely say yes. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, because they're not a big poster, you know, show poster band.
No, not really. Which, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Some bands are, and some bands just aren't. You know, I think I watched Dan's interview, and he said, you know, Metallica, he raised a really good point. Metallica weren't either. They were very, they didn't put out a lot of like gig posters and things. You know, like there was there was a lot of control over what they were doing art wise, I guess. Whereas now they seem to just, you know, let people go crazy with it, which is, you know, great for people like me who love the band. So.
Someone's saying that they're waiting for their Lamb of God print to arrive.
Okay, that'll be coming from, that's Metal Hammer that sent those out, I guess.
Right.
That's nothing to do with me. Sorry. Yeah, I think you will have to order the issue from Metal Hammer. I don't know whether there's a delay because of the whole COVID situation.
Yeah, it's funny. It's, post itself is turning out to be really strange at the moment, because what I'm finding, either coming into me or going out from us, is things are happening just as regular as any day, any normal time, and then other things are taking 8 weeks that really would normally take 3 days. It's kind of it's a very strange situation in the post office at the moment. Which,
I mean, I can understand. It's, you know, I can understand. I mean, it's amazing that we're getting things at all, to be honest, the way things are. Yeah, so they're kind of keeping us going, really, aren't they? So
them
and everybody else.
Them and certain delivery companies, shall we say?
Yes.
Without advertising.
Well, it's the thing. It's like I've just kind of got to the point now where I'm just like, what, you know, I've run out of like DIY to do in the house, so I'm sort of just go online and start buying stuff I don't need. You know, I've just because I turned 40 recently, and my wife bought me a record player for my birthday. So I'm just like, I've just been going online and like trying to hunt down like really, really rare albums on vinyl and things like that I want. And I've ordered about sort of 15 albums in the last few weeks on vinyl. So
I'm just thinking, sorry, I'm interrupting, and vinyl and what have you, but also made me think, I don't know why my brain works this, but you mentioned Ghost earlier, you know, and we took a young fella to see Ghost, February last year. And actually at that point, they weren't doing a headline tour here. They were supporting Metallica, which he liked. But what he really wanted to do was see Ghost headline. So we took him and his mum and his sister and his dad to Paris to see them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, when we do a show, it's not just, we could easily say, well, they're not playing locally, we'll take you to a local band to try and save money. We don't do it like that at all.
Right.
know?
Okay.
And it's like, and I'm just thinking, and I saw your Ghost work. How was that to work with Ghost?
Yeah, again, that was done through Metal Hammer, and pretty smooth, great. Yeah, it's fine. They're a great band, and I love the whole like image and the outfits and stuff. It's great. The masks that they wear and. Yeah, it's great. So it's like when I did that, I had to sort of get those in there. So that was really satisfying to draw those masks. Really cool.
I mean, really good. I mean, I've seen it, online and what have you. Just really fantastic job. And I mean, and I knew nothing about Ghost when we were asked, to take this kid Stephen. So I'm like, okay, and we got real lucky and managed to have a meet and greet, and the tour manager was amazing because the fellow was autistic. It really made a difference to him to be able to see the place before it filled up with people, to feel comfortable. And the tour manager was like, yeah, totally cool. And then took us on not us, I mean, we were there obviously, but him on a tour. He was on the stage, he was on the drum, like he was there on the whole stage. And I know nothing about Ghost, but at this stage they wear masks, this, that, and the other. And I'm talking to the tour manager while Stephen's doing things with whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And then this fella starts talking to Stephen, and I'm like, and I turn to the tour manager. I'm like, who's that? And he's like, he's the boss. And I'm thinking, you're the tour manager, you're the boss. I'm like, so who says? Oh no, that's Tobias without his mask and makeup on. And I'm like,
great.
Oh right.
Yeah, Tobias is the singer. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's very rare to see him, in any situation really without the mask.
Yeah, because they switch out the singers, don't they? Each album. Is that right? I might be completely wrong, but they have is it Papa? Like he gets changed out for a different.
It becomes a new card.
It becomes a new card. That's it. They kind of shift things up, which I think is really cool as well. There's this whole kind of weird narrative going on within the band, which is really just I've not seen that done before like that.
And there are lots of Lars Ulrich or Dave Grohl or so played on this one or turned up at that one.
Oh, okay. Oh right. Okay.
But that's what, that's what people, sort of have these, thoughts of, I think Dave Grohl played drums on that one, or this, that, and the other. And
well, it's like going back to Slipknot again. They've got the new guy that's replaced Chris Fenn. Nobody knows who he is. The percussion guy. Everyone calls it. Is it Tortilla Man or whatever they call him? Nobody knows who that guy is, and everyone's trying to work out who he is. Unless people do know now, or I don't know, but. Yeah, I'm sure they'll reveal it at some point. Yeah, I love the whole theatre. I love the whole theatre aspect of those kind of bands that do the whole masks, and it's just cool. Like I said, when I saw Slipknot for the first time, I was not bothered by Slipknot at all. I just thought the whole thing was a bit of a gimmick at first, and I thought this is all a little bit silly. And then I saw them live at Ozfest years ago on the Iowa tour, and I was like, okay. This is good. This is, it's like, I think I described them as a heavy metal circus on stage. It's just,
and they, you know, I had this idea 6 and a bit years ago, whatever it is, to start this, and you know, I would never have. You know, you and I have been chatting 6 and a bit years ago, and I would have asked who you're going to be the most requested band. I wouldn't have had a clue. I'd have imagined some sort of pop or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, it's actually Slipknot. I mean, if you put Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam together, that's the top. But if you actually separate individually, the most requested band that we've had is Slipknot.
They're just huge. They're so huge.
And we've
it's like one of those things where they just shouldn't be as big as they are, but they just are somehow, and I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, we've had to turn down a few people because of, you know, we don't have all the funds, and recently we've become a 501c3, which is what a charity is, a non-profit organization in the States, because one of the reasons was we were turning down Slipknot you know, not just Slipknot, but lots of people because of this, you know, the internet and what have you.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we've got once normality, for want of a better word, happens, you know, we'll be, you know, we've got, you know, at least 2 Slipknot shows that people want in the States itself, and and here, you know, it's almost every time I open up an application, there's that part of me going, if I know Slipknot are touring, or I'm thinking, it's going to be Slipknot, you know, and so they're so,
because they were doing, Knotfest was coming to the UK, wasn't it, this year?
Yeah.
And obviously it's all been cancelled. Which is a shame.
Tell us more about the Metallica Black poster. And there's a question here.
One there.
There's a question here, and I'm gonna, you know, follow that with us chatting yesterday, that, you know, and I don't know, you know, I mean, I like rock, and then, you know, Metallica and Slayer and that came out, and it was just a bit too heavy for me, and it was a bit like, you know, and that's why I can grab bits of them. It's like Slipknot. I mean, I had no idea about them as a band at all, and now it's like, oh, actually, there's a few of their songs. I can't just sit and listen to them.
Yeah.
But every now and again, it's kind of, I'll put one. There's a few of them I'm like, I really like, you know.
Yeah.
But we were chatting, and it's like that Black poster you were saying, it was like, that's the Metallica poster that everybody wants.
Well, I don't know whether it's the poster that everybody wants, but it's the poster that I've done for them. That variant is super rare, and it's kind of become a bit of a thing on the forums, and in Facebook groups and stuff. It's like everyone started calling it Black Justice.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and there's it's quite nice to see, you know, people are kind of like, I think the way they did it was, if you ordered the regular version, which is just cream, printed on cream stock, I think there was like, I think there's a 1 in 100 chance, I might be wrong, it might be 1 in 50 chance that you might get a black poster in the tube as well.
Is that how they did it?
For free, yeah.
So
they just inserted them into random tubes, and if you get one, it's like gold dust to a Metallica fan.
Right.
So there's like a whole group of people that have got them, and they're kind of, it's like bragging rights, you know, I've got Black Justice, you know.
Yeah.
So I get emails all the time from people asking, have you got any spare Black Justice posters? And the answer is always like, no, I have that one there.
Yeah, and it's staying there.
And that's the only piece of artwork of mine that I have hung up in my house. I don't really hang my own artwork on the walls. I don't know, it's just weird. I'll just stare at it too long and notice all the mistakes. Whereas that one was like, you know, quite proud of that. It's kind of, it was the first Metallica artwork that I did, and I know, you know, it's quite sought after. So I thought, yeah, I'll stick it on the wall. You know. So,
what's it like? You know, you're describing that, and you know, and I often sort of collectors talk about, you know, poster erectors, their holy grail. You know, I mean, what's it like knowing that for so many, you know, Metallica fans, that's, you know how, you know, you just said you get these emails so often asking for it. You know, must be an incredible feeling, and kind of, I imagine, a bit like, but that's just a poster, and yet at the same time, oh my God, this is the poster that is so sought after. What's it like being at your end of that?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's great. You know,
Mm.
it's I don't know. I kind of it's weird. I remember when I first started doing the Metallica stuff, it was I just couldn't believe that I was getting to work with the band. You know, they're kind of there's like the kind of there's sort of four bands really that you want to work with. It's like Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, I guess. And well, I like Anthrax, but it's what everyone calls the Big Four. They're, you know, Anthrax are a great band, but I've always been more kind of. I'd say I consider the Big Four to be Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Sepultura. To me, that's the Big Four. No offense to Anthrax, great band, but for me, I think it's just they're called the Big Four because they're all from the Bay Area in San Francisco, where that thrash scene kind of started. So yeah, with regards to that that poster, yeah, it's a great feeling, that people like the work and people are looking for it, and want to get their hands on it. And I think you kind of need to have that sort of like, because I always get people asking questions like, "Oh, when are you ever going to reprint them?" I'm like, no, that's the whole part of the collecting thing. It's good that they're limited. They're limited for a reason, because it makes them more desirable and more collectible. And if you've got one, it just feels that much. I mean, I collect posters myself, and it's just that bit more special, isn't it? If you've got one of something you really want, something.
Music wise, you say, in terms of posters you collect.
Yeah, I mean, I say collect. I mean, I have a few posters,
Right,
and they're not all band posters. I tend to just buy art, prints, or pieces of artwork, of artists that I like.
You've just been told to do an Iron Maiden poster.
I'd love to do an Iron Maiden poster. Yeah, I'd love to do an Iron Maiden poster. I think I have spoken to somebody about this before, doing Iron Maiden stuff. Yeah, that was the end of last year. I think someone approached me about it and mentioned it, but I don't know what's happening with that. So who knows? Might happen. We'll see.
I mean, in the Maiden poster world, I don't know much about it in terms of, do they do the sort of, poster per show, or is it the sort of old-fashioned UK tour?
I think Dan does a few Iron Maiden posters, so he's probably the best person. I think they're more. I don't know whether they're gig posters. I think they're more. I think they're related more to. Dan can correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure they're related to albums or tracks, like songs.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe.
You're just being told to do stuff now. Merciful fate.
Oh man, that'd be great. Love that.
I like these. Usually it's people asking questions. It's like, no, you've just been told what to do now, Luke.
I'd love to do Judas Priest. I'd love to do Judas Priest poster. I'd love to do Rage Against the Machine.
Oh man, yeah, that would be cool. I'd
love Rage Against the Machine. Great.
As long as it's a show that I'm going to, so I can get it. Just telling you that. Yeah.
Well, they are meant to be doing shows, aren't they? But again, been postponed with Run the Jewels. So I could do Run the Jewels and Rage Against the Machine. That would be great.
That would be, that'd be neat. I wonder if that ever happens, that the same artist does the headline and the support.
I don't know.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to see if I can make it happen.
Yeah, no, because I had tickets for, well, still do technically, for a couple of the Rage shows, not the festivals here, because I can't do festivals. Yeah, I'm 52. I just Yeah. And, so
I can't do festivals either. I can't do camping at festivals anymore. No. I just can't deal with it. I just, yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
cold. It's even in the, you know, it's my back. It's my age, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I used to, you know, we mentioned Monsters of Rock Festival. You know, I mean, I've gotten lifts, I've driven, I've hitched. You know, but that was Monsters. That was the late '80s and the very early '90s. You know,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is, yeah, you get that, but there's no way. You know, and I mean, I even got arrested by the police for hitching on a motorway, trying
Right.
to. The year Guns N' Roses were there, we had to park so far away because they had blown up since the bill was announced, that there was 100,000 instead of the normal 60, 70.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, yes, it's over this hill. And then it's like, oh, it's over this hill. And we thought, oh, we'll just park here because it's only over this next hill.
Right.
There were a lot
of hills.
hills. There was about 2 hours, and after the gig, it's like, how the hell? Where on earth did we park? And at one point, we're hitching. We've got a vague idea that we're gonna. If we get off at another exit, we've got a rough idea, and then the police arrested and fined us for hitching on the motorway. after being, I can't even remember who headlined that year. Maybe Kiss. Maybe Ozzy. No, I think it might have been Maiden. I really can't remember. All I can remember is, yeah, the year I went. We've got just under 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'm just because yeah, you get an hour and then they suddenly tell me when there's 2 minutes left. So, is there anything that you particularly want you got coming out? You want to let people know? Obviously, you know. Website so people can go shopping and go and get stuff, anything you want to.
I mean, I guess, you know, if you want to follow me on my socials, obviously on here, which you can see Luke Preece Art. I'm also Luke Preece Art on Facebook, although I'm not overly I mean, I'm the most active on Instagram, to be honest. You go to lukepreece.com and there's links to everything on there, my shop. And I'm on Twitter. On Twitter, I'm Luke_Preece. Again, I'm not very active on Twitter either. I kind of find I'm not, Facebook and Twitter, I just find it all just a bit too noisy personally. But obviously, you know, you have to, I announce things on there, but I'm not very active on there really. I'm the most active on Instagram because I just find it the easiest to sort of communicate with people on and stuff. With regards to things coming up, yeah, I've got stuff coming up, but this is cliche, but I can't talk about it.
No, that's cool.
I can't talk about any of it.
I know you told me yesterday.
Did I? Yeah, I might have told you yesterday.
Did.
Yeah, there's a few things, and I'm sure there'll be lots more stuff in the future.
We've got 10 seconds.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just going to say thank you so much, Luke.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're an absolute